Hey there, I have tried to figure out how to start this video and how to keep it as short and sweet as possible. It is a long story, so I'm warning you now. It's long, it's detailed, it's intricate, as well as I am 9 weeks postpartum. I am full of hormones, and so I have a tissue here. I've got a box over here. I really hope not to have to use them, and I don't think I will, but just in case, this is going to be one of the hardest videos I have ever done, but it needs to be done and it needs to be said. And it's taken me a long time to get here to know that I'm in a place where I'm ready to share. I've spent the last 5 months just listening to what everyone else says about it and what other people I've seen comments, I've watched videos, all the things. That's a lie. I haven't watched the videos. I've had my husband watch the videos because I'm like, I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to put myself in that situation. And anyway, so I'm here to share my story of why I'm no longer with SeneGence. So I titled this, why I quit SeneGence. So that's actually a little misleading. I did not quit SeneGence. The truth is, I was terminated from SeneGence, and that is what this video is about. Anyone who knows that piece might not know the backstory to it and the actual details behind being terminated for soliciting. So that is what I'm here to share with you today. And I have shared this so many times, and to be honest, when all of this first happened in July and August of last year, I was all over the place emotionally. I was 27 weeks pregnant. I was so emotional. I was so confused. I was so hurt. I was so angry. And I didn't always share the story the way that I hopefully do today. And God has worked so much on my heart, with this whole thing, and has just grown me so much that I hope that I get the message, and I hope you hear my heart today exactly how it is. So first and foremost, I am so grateful for this industry. The network marketing industry has completely changed my family's life. 5 years ago, when I became a mom, my son is about to turn 5 in a couple weeks, I discovered network marketing, and I was a business woman. I actually went to school to be a teacher, but I got into the sales world, and I had been doing sales for a number of years, and I was working 50 to 60 hours a week. I was making good money, but I was working so much. And so when I was just about to end my maternity leave, I was like, I could not process doing what I had done as being a mom. And I wanted so desperately to be able to stay at home with him, but still earn a substantial amount of income, because my income was not just a compliment to my husband. We were both breadwinners, really. And so hence network marketing. And I'm so grateful for this industry. I am so grateful for every company I have been able to be part of. I have met the most incredible people. I have become really best friends with some of the people I've met through the company have become my best friends. Some of the people who have prayed for me, especially in this season, I cannot thank you enough. And so I am so grateful. I am even grateful for this company that has this situation, that has caused a lot of sadness and emptiness and anger and it's really has been like a death. I poured my heart and soul into my SeneGence business, and I am no longer with them. And so it really has been a death. I've gone through every stage of that, and I knew I needed to wait to do a video until I got to a better place that I really could reflect me, the real Heather, my heart, and not the one that was defensive, not the one that was hurt and sad, not the one that was angry, not the one that was playing major victim, all those things. And so here we are. So the other thing I want to say before I get into this is I want you to know that the network marketing industry is an incredible industry, and it works. SeneGence works. The business opportunity works. I was able to retire my husband from it. We've been able to go on many trips and pay off debt and do all kinds of things because of it. And I'm so grateful for that. And so this video is not to say that SeneGence doesn't work. So if that's what you're looking for, you can stop watching. This is more for me as closure for going into 2019 and just continuing to pursue my God-sized dreams and to get my story out there, because I've seen it in so many different ways, shapes, or forms. I've seen screenshots, videos, all the stuff. And so it's time for me to share my side, because I haven't been able to do that. So this business works. SeneGence works. And I discovered this and was so excited. So I did another business for 3 years, built that to 6 figures over 3 years, took a long time. I was able to quit my corporate job, be a slay at home, work from home mom, do the network marketing business, and be a mom. And I fell in love. I'm like, this is the greatest thing on earth for a mom, especially if you love the products and you love the company and their mission. Like, it's just a no-brainer. And so I still use the products and the programs from the very first company that I was with. I still love it. I still have many friends within the company, and I still support them in any way that I can. I discovered SeneGence when I was a few weeks postpartum with my daughter. Crazy enough, I didn't even wear lipstick. I wore all neutrals. I was total gloss girl. And I discovered this lipstick that doesn't come off. And I was blown away. And my postpartum journey, you know, I felt like it gave me life to put on that lipstick and to feel beautiful. And, you know, if you're a mom, you know what it's like to go through the postpartum journey. It's not fun, right? You just go through the body, your body has changed and all the things. And so I felt alive. And I felt like in the back of my head, the Holy Spirit kept telling me, look at this, look at this, look at this. And I'm like, no, I am not looking at makeup. Now, I'm a girl. I love makeup. I love to feel pretty, but no, I am not doing that for a business. I don't even know how to contour. How on earth am I going to sell makeup to people? But at the time, really all they had was lipstick, lip sense. And I was like, you know what? That voice in the back of my head kept saying, go for it, go for it. Look at this, look at this, look at this. And I did. And my life has not been the same since. And so I am grateful for the friendships, grateful for all the blessings that the business has given us financially, emotionally, friendship, relationally, so many things. But it kind of took a turn throughout the year of 2017. 2017. Something wasn't right. Just something wasn't sitting right, and I couldn't quite pinpoint it. And I knew that I have 2 other businesses as well. I have a coaching business. I'm a life and success coach who loves business, and I love helping women with that, which complements what I do in the first place. But then I also have an apparel, a faith-based apparel business. And I believe in Dave Ramsey. I believe in the 7 streams of income. And so I really wanted to find a place where I could balance, I hate the word balance, I could have harmony among those 3 businesses, and then whatever else God put in my path. And for some reason, the way that the SeneGence model, the business model was set up, I felt like I couldn't do it between the packaging and the shipping and going live all the time, doing videos, and then the training, coming up with trainings for my team all the time, and the travel. We traveled a ton, which is a blessing and a curse, right? I couldn't see this being our family's future forever. Just like I couldn't see that first network marketing company be our family's future. And if you change, seasons change, your goals change, your vision changes, then you make a change, right? I think one of the things in this industry that's interesting is that, you know, when people join a network marketing company, it's just network marketing is a business, and we should treat it like a business, which means if you were unhappy in a job, or you outgrew a job, or whatever, you weren't happy, you were ready for the next challenge, well, then you move on. And so that's what my journey has been from the first business to SeneGence, and it really has been what is my journey from SeneGence and going forward. So SeneGence came into my life, the business exploded, our team did $14 million in 18 months. Insane. Crazy. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I would call George. I'd be like, babe, guess how much we sold today? Guess how much, you know, oh my gosh, guess how many people we recruited? Like, guess how many people? And I always talk in terms of we, because it is a family business. But there was a shift somewhere, and it was kind of the summer of 2017, and something wasn't right. And I couldn't put my finger around it. I had discernment. You know, have you ever had discernment about something and just something isn't right? And I was so frustrated for the remainder of the year because I couldn't figure out the answer. And I called it spiritual constipation. I was like praying and praying and praying, God, give me an answer. God, give me an answer. And he was not answering me, not answering me, not answering me. I'm like, why am I so unsettled about this business? But yet I'm making the most money I've ever made in my life. I have what looks like everybody wants. I have the car. I have the trips. I have the title. I was in the very top of the company. I was receiving rewards and, you know, all sorts of awards and all sorts of things. And it looked like what everybody else wanted, but in the inside, I was not happy. And I felt like I wasn't in the right place, but I couldn't figure out why, because why would God give me so much success here and yet it not be the right thing? And so I started on a journey, and I hired a business coach in December of 2017. And I asked her and told her, I need to figure out a way to continue this, but to also bring these other two businesses that are passions of mine, that I truly believe coaching is a purpose and a passion. It's part of my purpose in life. And I need to be doing more of that outside of network marketing in order to fulfill myself. Like, I don't want to just work for money. And so she and I worked together, and I was in so much turmoil for all of that time that I worked with her. And it just felt like the only way that I ever could really get to where I wanted would be to give up my SeneGence business. And by giving up, I don't mean shutting down, walking away, unless I had to, right? Unless God told me to, but I didn't feel like he was telling me that. I knew that I needed to step back. I knew that I needed to not have all the pressure to remain the number, in the top 5 of the company, right? And I was in the top 5 in last year for our big event. And then I was ranked number 2 when I decided to leave. So it was a huge decision for our family to say, we're no longer going to invest here, right? Not that it doesn't work. Not that it's not an opportunity for some people that would work for some people, but for me, the 21st century mom, it wasn't working. I'm very social media driven. That is where I built all of my businesses, multiple 6-figure businesses, and the company doesn't have that model. And they don't really encourage it. And that's okay. Their model works, doing in-home works. There were just a number of things that weren't lined up with me and my vision and what I believe in business-wise. Again, not that theirs is wrong, not that I am wrong. It's just it wasn't aligned together. It wasn't working. And on top of that, my income was declining. And every month in our leadership page, there was somebody that would post about they were so discouraged that their team wasn't doing as much and that they weren't making as much, and what's happening. And so there was just this negative kind of air everywhere that was like nobody wanted to talk about it, but I had to ask myself and talk about it at home because this was the reality. Some people join network marketing to make a little bit of extra money, to add some income to their families. Some people do it as a hobby because they just want something to do. Some people do it for the discount of the products. I joined network marketing to make it my career and my future. And so then if this isn't aligning with where I see our future going, and I see some pieces that just don't match me well then it's not the right fit. And so I decided that SeneGence wasn't the right fit for our family to continue to invest our future in. With that being said, while I decided that in my head, my heart was like, how on earth are you going to do this? Like, this doesn't make sense. And I was praying and praying and praying, God, like, am I supposed to quit network marketing altogether? Am I supposed to find another business? Am I supposed to focus just on coaching, just on my apparel? I didn't know. And for months, I was praying on this. I hired a website person to create my new website, and I literally went back and forth with her and changed my mind 100 times because I really didn't know where God wanted me to go. You can ask these people. It's been a frustrating journey for them too on the back end, as much as it's been an emotional journey for me because I was so unsettled and I had so much discernment around it, but I couldn't figure out exactly what, right? And so when I made the decision that I was no longer going to build the business, a series of events happened around June and July of 2018. And it was like God was just giving me the answer. You can lay this down. You don't have to be the, they call them Sena celebrities if you're, higher up or popular within the company. And I mean, while I was grateful for the platform that God gave me and the many amazing women I had met, I just was like, I don't want that. Like, I don't need the car. I don't need the trips. I need to feel good about what I do. And I need to love what I do. And I need to feel like there's just more harmony among what I'm doing. And I got pregnant with our 3rd child, who I just had 9 weeks ago. And, it was just a series of events. I started doing research, got pregnant with him in February. I didn't find out till March. Started doing some research, and I'm like, I really need to know, like, are all these products okay to use when pregnant? I'm not here to convince you one way or another. I just so happened to personally decide that I wasn't going to use certain products. And so that was kind of the first thing that was like, oh, how do I build a business when I'm not even using the products? And how can I tell someone else as for the remainder of my life, again, this is an investment for me. These can be, network marketing can be a lifelong investment and future for you. And so I just kept thinking, gosh, if the products aren't aligned with me as a whole, then can I do this forever? So that was my first thing. Well, then someone I really looked up to within the company who was a VP, she ended up leaving the company. That was a red flag for me. I'm like, why would she leave? She seemed very dedicated and in love with the company and all those things. So I'm like, okay, that doesn't set right. And then I had earned a trip that, there wasn't really anything wrong with the trip, but just the whole vibe in the air just felt weird. And again, over my last year of the business, incomes were declining. And it was a constant conversation within the leadership pages, just questioning, like, what is going on? And so there's just the air of everything was just this, everyone was concerned, like, is this going to turn around? Is this going to get better? And again, I'm asking myself the same thing, because I'm leading a team of 2,600 women, telling them that yes, this is going to turn around, because I believed it was. And it wasn't for me personally. I'm speaking on my behalf. It wasn't turning around no matter what I did. And then with all the other pieces, I'm like, maybe I'm not supposed to continue building here. And then another thing happened, We went to a training, and there was some social media. It was actually our social media training, and I just did not agree with some of the training that was there. Again, there's a lot of different opinions when it comes to social media and building a business online. And I have paid thousands and thousands of dollars to work with people who are successful in the industry. And so some of the things that were being taught, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't agree with that. And, it was just, it wasn't the right fit for me. That's all I can say, is it wasn't the right fit. And then, the CEO did a video on my team page telling my girls to, go door to door. They have to get out. They have to go get a clipboard, go door to door, meet people, get out. And again, not that doesn't work and that's wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. That is traditional network marketing. That's just traditional sales, but it wasn't for me. And then there was a comment made about doing other businesses outside of SeneGence, and it was very frowned upon among a bunch of people. It was like half and half. And I'm like, well, that's actually what I want to do. And so every sign was telling me, Heather, you need to get out of SeneGence, because I did my research. I did my research because I knew that if I had to quit SeneGence and just resign, well, then that was going to have to be something to do, because I resigned from my previous company because I knew I couldn't build two at one time. Well, with SeneGence, the amazing thing that they have written into their policies and procedures, or at least did at the time, I don't know if it's changed since then, that you can do any other business, any other network marketing business, competing or non-competing, as long as you don't solicit other people outside of your first line. So you can even go to the people you personally sponsored in this business, tell them what you're doing, recruit them, get them to go with you or whatever. And I thought, wow, that's extremely generous. Like, that's crazy and that's unheard of. And my heart at the time wasn't even to do that if I decided I wanted to do another network marketing company. In all honesty, I was praying that God would give me the sign to say, you can just quit the industry altogether. I have this for you. And I would just let my SeneGence business kind of die out while I continued to coach my girls and still sell to the customers who I already had sold. I sold a couple $1,000s every single month anyways. So I was like, well, maybe I'm just going to let this die out and go. Well, God put into my path multiple other business opportunities, and I ended up looking at several of them really closely. And I'm like, you know what? I think that it might not be that I'm not supposed to be in the industry. I'm just not supposed to keep building this business. So I did the proper steps. I got out of my SeneGence agreement, which was stating that I am no longer held to the same standards as a leader, that I could do any other business that I wanted, competing or non-competing. I could tell my first line as long as I didn't solicit other people. And if you look at the definition of solicit, it is to ask for something. It is to get to get something from somebody else. I was like, cool, I can do that. Honestly, I don't even do that anyways, because if you have done any of my trainings or you've been part of any of my, anything that I've done around network marketing, I teach you how to be authentic. You don't have to ask people to, come look at what you're doing all the time, because if you're authentic, people just want to know what you're doing, right? People follow people. People don't follow products. And so I'm like, well, cool. I don't have to make this huge statement that like I quit here, because I'm not quitting. I'm just stepping down from my leadership role. And I don't have to promote any other business, because I don't even say the names of companies anywhere on social media. You will notice that about me. I could do this really seamlessly, and it won't be an issue when I find the right company. I prayed and prayed and prayed. Like I said, I asked God, please just tell me you can quit the industry altogether, because that's what I was hoping. But he led me to the book of Ruth, and I was about to fall asleep. I'm like, God, what do you have for me in this, in these verses? And the verse that stood out on the page was where Ruth was told not to leave the field until the work with the women until the work was done. I think it's verse 27, chapter 2, I think. And I was like, oh my gosh, God's telling me like, my work is not done in the industry, although it might be done building SeneGence. And I was okay with that. As scary as that was, being the number 2 distributor in the company, having built $14 million team, having thousands of women look to me for training and advice, and I don't take that lightly at all. My intention was never to just go crazy and recruit and solicit and poach all these people to come to a new business. Honestly, I was 27 weeks pregnant at the time. I didn't even want to go crazy with anything. I wanted to enjoy the remainder of my pregnancy so that I could welcome a baby into the world while I had this business going, while I was building my coaching business again, which I had already started, which I was continuing to really build my apparel, which was starting to pick up. And then if God had something for this other business on the side, great. I was going to do whatever that was. So let me look at my notes. I'm trying to stay on track. And again, I know this is long. So with all the changes, the discernment, all the things that were going on in June and July, and just things weren't right, I got the clear message. You can lay this down. And so I looked into multiple companies, was offered multiple things. And let me just clear this rumor up too. I have heard that I was paid money to go to another company. I was not paid anything to go to any company. Now, I will clear this up and tell you a little more, because some companies will offer something called a bridge plan. And it's just what it is. It's to bridge the gap between where you are to where you want to be, right? And so if you have a multiple 6-figure income coming in from one company and you're deciding not to build that anymore and you go to the next, they're like, hey, we know you're of value. We'll help you bridge that gap so that you're not taking that big of a hit with your family. Well, for me, I was like, I'm not even going to take a hit, because SeneGence allows me to do multiple businesses. Right? And so while I thought that was a really good, that could be a good idea if I wanted to go crazy and like guns blazing, let's do the business, right? I knew where I was physically, being super pregnant, going to give birth in a couple months, like I didn't want to do that. And I didn't want to put myself in the same situation that I was working all day, all night, with no time for my family, no time for my other businesses. I didn't want to put myself right back in that situation that I was trying to get out of. And so I declined the bridge plan. So I was not paid anything to go anywhere, and I was not enticed to go anywhere. This was a very prayerful decision that my husband and I decided on, and that I really feel is God-led. And so in the meantime, with that being said, I do have a large platform on social media, and I am so grateful for it. And I don't take it for granted. And I pray every day that God uses me in a good way to share him. I know in my heart of hearts, that's why I am here, is to share Jesus and his hope and his love. And if he can use me through network marketing, fantastic. If he can use me through my apparel business, great. If he can use me in any way, shape, or form, that's my prayer and that's my heart. And so because I do have influence, and I know women, they respect my opinion, I do have women come to me all the time asking me for marital advice, for relational advice, for friendship advice, for business advice. Many in the company that I'm in now even, or was with SeneGence, and outside of it, just entrepreneurs in general. And so in the process of all of this, me trying to figure this out, having a lot of people within the company who were top leaders, you know, just having one-off conversations with a lot of people, having concerns, wondering why the incomes are declining, you know, just concerns around like the social media, the push to do face-to-face. A lot of women didn't want to do that. Like, I'm a 21st century mom, right? And so I typically attract 21st century mothers. And I knew I couldn't look another woman in the face and say, you can do what I have done, you know, from the ground up, the way that I've done it, and be as successful. I just couldn't. And not that it's impossible, but that I was not willing to teach someone to do and what I did and make the sacrifices that I made, because I felt like there had to be a better way for me. And if there's a better way for me, then it's going to be a better thing for me to be able to teach other women. So I have people coming to me all the time. Still to this day, I do. I'm sure some of you are watching this are like, yeah, I went to Heather and she never solicited me. She never told me, oh, look at this, right? Oh, you should look over here. Oh yeah, you should quit. That company's horrible. No, I've never said that. And I would never say that. Now, in my anger and bitter moments, did I, you know, probably express my feelings a little bit different, the factual feelings? Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I waited to do this video until I'm in a good place, because I really believe that in my heart of hearts, my intentions have always been right. Even the last 5 months going through hell of all the stuff that I've gone through emotionally, it's truly been traumatic. And I don't say that as, oh, you know, for sympathy. It has really been traumatic to have people talk about me the way that they have, to shun me the way that they have, to, you know, block me, and to have, you know, the CEO, you know, just not even give me a chance to explain anything, has been heartbreaking. And to have my entire family's income taken away from me at, you know, 27 weeks pregnant, expecting another child to come to our family. My husband didn't have a job. Traumatic is the easiest way for me to describe the experience. And so I've had women come to me asking me for advice, and I have given great advice to women and telling them, here's how you can do a better post here, here's how you can recruit here. Many of them coming within SeneGence. I've also had many women within SeneGence unhappy. Many coming to me saying, you know, my sales aren't great, my recruiting's not great, my income has declined, all the things. And again, this was a common topic in the Crown Princess and Above page, in the $1 million above earners, or team leaders. Every month, somebody would say something about, you know, when's this going to turn around, right? And so many women came to me. I never once said to any soul, you should look at this business that I'm looking at. Now, I did, in the meantime, have women say to me, I'm looking here. I'm actually going to start this. Or, Heather, if you do anything else, I need to know about it. I want to know. And I'm like, that could get sticky, right? I'm well aware that could get sticky. So what did I do to cover myself? Because if you come to me asking me for advice, I'm going to be honest with you, right? That's all I can be, is honest and tell you my heart, my opinion, and answer you. And so I had people sign an agreement stating, I came to Heather. She did not solicit me. She did not entice me. She did not try to talk me out of, talk me into, nothing. I came to her asking her questions, and she answered. And that has been the exact situation that has happened. It just so happened that 2 women decided to join me. And this is where it gets kind of sticky, right? So this was basically a year-long decision for me. And so finally, when I decided to make the choice, I got out of SeneGence. I removed myself from every leadership group that I wasn't supposed to be a part of. I knew I wouldn't earn the car anymore, the trips, all the things. I took all the proper precautions, right, to make sure that I was following their rules. Otherwise, I would have just resigned, and that would have been it. But if I can keep the business, as in where their policies and procedures states, and do what I was planning to do, tell my first line, not even try to recruit them, but literally just tell them, hey, here's my heart. I'm going to be here to coach you. I didn't even get that chance. I had to do a heartfelt, sobbing video to them because I didn't even have time to process everything that was happening. So long story short, I decided to join another business with no intentions of going crazy. But knowing that, hey, if other people are coming to me asking me, hey, is there another opportunity that's better? What are you doing, or where are you going, or what are you going to do? If you're not going to be building SeneGence like you were before, well, what are you doing, right? I shared it with them. A few of them joined. And this is where, again, this is where it gets sticky. So one of them who joined decided to start sharing with her network, right? Which there is nothing wrong with that, and I can't speak on her behalf. But what I know is when a woman asked her how to get started, how to get signed up, she sent her a graphic that I created. Now, if you know me, I'm all about duplication. I'm all about systems and making things simple and quick, right? If you're going to have 10 people ask you the same question, you might as well create something so that when the 11th person asks, you have something that's quick. You don't have to keep regurgitating the same thing over. So I created a graphic knowing that as I start to build this company and build this business, I'm going to have the same questions, right? How do you get started? Where do I start? She shared the graphic that I created for myself to share with people who asked me about an opportunity. She shared that with her prospect. That prospect noticed my name at the top of the graphic. And from there, everything spiraled out of control. I hadn't even been able to approach the people on my first line who I wanted to give them the respect to tell them. And that has been a disaster with my team in general, which breaks my heart because I haven't had the opportunity to even tell them this story. All they've been told is that I was terminated for soliciting, which is true. I was terminated for soliciting. That's what it states. But there is no proof of that because I haven't done that. I haven't solicited. I haven't gone to any woman to this day saying, you need to come look at this. I want you to come see. Would you like to do this with me? But yet, that's still the verbiage that's being tossed around that I have been terminated for soliciting. So technically, yes, I have. But I was immediately kicked out of my back office within, 24 hours. I had received a couple messages from some other leaders saying, are you quitting SeneGence? Are you poaching? My answer to that is no, I'm not quitting SeneGence. Who in their right mind would throw this away? Who would leave their team of 2,600 people high and dry unless you really felt like God was calling you to do that? And I didn't feel like he was. I felt like he was telling me, slow this down. And then from here, you can figure out whatever else we have planned. Well, God had much different plans than I had thought because that's not what he had planned. He had all this planned. And while it has been crazy and I've cried so much, I have drawn so much closer to him that I am grateful for this experience. And I am so excited to see how this is growing me for whatever he has planned for me. So with all that being said, everything was starting to go crazy. I had already removed myself from all the groups, so I didn't experience that because I had gotten out of SeneGence. I knew that I needed to do that. It wasn't a big deal to me. I'm okay. But I got an email from our compliance department saying that I was under investigation for soliciting. So I shared that with my attorney. I shared the email and I'm like, okay, look at this. Like, I haven't solicited. I have not approached anyone about this business. It's not even been a month yet. It hasn't even been 2 weeks since I decided. I still am processing the fact that I'm going to give this up over here and let it die down. Like, I can't even believe that this is happening, right? Something that was such a huge blessing had turned into this burden for me, and that I couldn't even wrap my head around that. So to then be accused of soliciting when I'm like, I haven't even told people about this. I have not started making a plan of, okay, who I'm going to recruit here and how I'm going to do this and what I'm going to do here. I just knew that God had me covered, and he still does. Can I get an amen? And so I was like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? Because if they say that I have solicited and they, for some reason, continue to terminate me, right? Well, all of our family's income is taken away. And I'm pregnant, and I don't have it in me to like build another business crazy. And our other businesses won't pay all of our bills. And George doesn't have a job right now because we retired him because of this industry and this company. And I'm trying to process all of this stuff going on. And then I'm trying to process my team and how am I going to tell them, oh my gosh, like this is not how I planned it, right? Like I hadn't even told anybody, but my name was shared with somebody else and by no means do I believe that this person did this intentionally or maliciously at all. I think it was just a way of her helping and saying, okay, here's how you get started because you wanted to know. Well, this person quickly changed their mind apparently when they saw my name. And again, I don't know if that's what I was told, right? All I know is I woke up one morning with messages in my inbox asking me, hey, you're quitting SeneGence, and so-and-so is soliciting my team. And I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. I'm not quitting. I have stepped out of my leadership role, and I'm not building the business anymore, but I'm going to maintain as long as I can. Why wouldn't I? And so then the rumors started happening. Text messages from people, people sending me, well, what's going on, being blocked, being, unfriended on Facebook, all the things. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, what are these people saying? And the screenshots start coming in when I see messages from the CEO, in a group about me. And then I see leaders, the regional directors doing videos, which since this time, one of those regionals has left the company herself. And so it's like all these things I start seeing. Then I see these chats that the CEO is part of in these chats with these distributors. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, where did I go from a person, who people admired and looked up to and asked advice to a witch hunt of like that I'm horrible and that I'm going to take the whole company with me? And if you know me, you know that that's not my heart. That never was my heart. And even through all the bitterness that I've had to get over through this, it's still not my heart. I know, and I prayed years and years ago in my previous business that God, please put the right people in my path, put the right people in my life. I know that He will, and I don't need to be malicious and need to be sneaky and need to do anything. I wasn't sneaky with choosing to do another business, getting out of SeneGence and answering women's questions at all. And so from there, rumors, gossip, all this crazy stuff happening. And I'm just trying to process it all, super pregnant, still thinking, oh my gosh, is my family, am I going to be able to feed my children? Am I going to be able to bring this baby into a world with a home? And so my life flashed before my eyes, and I was in a very dark place thinking, what is going on? On August 16th, I received an email from SeneGence stating that as of August 16th, our distributor board has reconvened, and we have decided that you are terminated officially today for breaking policy number 10 point whatever, soliciting. To which, again, in my heart and in my head, I'm like, but I didn't solicit. So I took that to my attorney and said, here's what they're saying. They're wrongfully accusing me of soliciting. What do I do? So he helped me and say, like, well, you tell them, show you, right? Show you who, show you how, and show you when. Because if they to this day can show me who, how, and when, I wouldn't even be doing this video. I would just be sucking it up. I always say, suck it up, buttercup. I'd be sucking it up that I made a mistake and I went against their policies and procedures and I didn't follow the rules. When God gives you a chance to do something, again, don't make the same mistake. Well, I was doing it the right way this time with SeneGence. And unfortunately, they terminated me. I responded to that email with my attorney, and they have never responded since. Nothing. They sent me nothing. So they haven't showed me who, they haven't showed me when, they haven't showed me how, none of those things. And they basically just excommunicated me from everything there. And so then, of course, the rumors are going to keep going. And when I still, to this day, see screenshots, which I have told people, by the way, if you have any, don't send them to me. I'm so aware of what we put in our heads, in our hearts, is what comes out. And I realize, by friends, and I really think they have the right intentions, sharing all that negativity with me and showing me where people were gossiping about me and making up lies and rumors, it crushed my soul, crushed me. And again, I'm at a better place now because I just learned that those people were not my friends. I thought they were, and they're not, and that's okay. It's hurt, but I'm in a better place. I have forgiven, I have prayed for all of those people. And I want to say this too. Have I handled myself 100% I am not perfect. That's why I need Jesus, right? And that's my message all the time. I have not handled myself the perfect way that somebody should, and that I wish I would have. I was, and not to make excuses, but I'm just telling you, I was super pregnant. I was super sad. I was super angry. I was super bitter, and I didn't handle those emotions very well, right? I should have let God fight all of those battles, and I didn't. I tried to defend myself to people, and I got defensive because I'm like, why are people making up these rumors about me when I never even solicited? I never approached anyone about any business and try to get someone to come over, you know, and do this. And so I can't answer for other people's actions and other people's behaviors, but I can answer for myself. And so through this process, if you're watching this, I'm sure there are people who are, if I have hurt you through my decision to no longer build my SeneGence business for my family, I am sorry. And if I haven't painted the prettiest picture about the business opportunity, for that, I'm sorry, because I do really want the women who choose this to be their income source to thrive. I still have many women who are not only clients of mine, who I coach to teach them how to build a business. I still do. I have friends in this business. This is their livelihood. And just because it wasn't for me, and it's not for a lot of women, just like anything else. Hello, can we talk about vaccinations? Can we talk about politics? Can we talk about religion, right? It's not everything's for everybody. It doesn't make it wrong, but I have every right to say that this is why, if you're going to ask me, and I can lay out the reasons why I chose that it wasn't for me. I just wish I would have done it. I wish I wouldn't have answered people in the beginning. Let me just put it that way, because I am now at a better place. I can literally just answer you without emotions, without sobbing, without getting angry, right? So with all of that being said, to this day, I still don't have an answer from SeneGence with who, what, when, where, how. I just know that that's what they're telling people, and I know that that's what other people, that's what my team was told. I never even got a chance to tell my team. And so if you are from my team, you know, goal diggers, I want you to know my heart still loves every single one of you. I have seen many chats. I have seen screenshots. I've seen all sorts of things where you're being told that I am terminated for soliciting, and you didn't know the story, right? So some people who knew the actual truth didn't actually stick up for me, and that's okay. That's their choice, right? And I think through all of this, I've learned that, one, bullying is real. Bullying at an adult level is so real, and it hurts, right? That saying, sticks and stones may break my, no, it hurts. My world has been rocked. I've just never been, I don't know, I mean, we're all talked about, I'm sure, right? I just don't feel like I haven't had this much loss in my life at one time, right? I've lost a friend here. I've literally physically, but even just emotionally, you lose friends, you transition, you outgrow people. I've lost jobs, you know, as far as transitioning and moving on. I have experienced loss in my life, but never so much all at once. While I was growing a baby and all of this stuff. And so it has been a really, really sad experience, because I would have hoped that at the number 2 position in a company, leading a team that was doing well, even though our numbers in our very last months that I was there was around 350,000, and we were ranked number 2. Meanwhile, our highest months were like 1.3 million in a month. And so for sure, you can tell that like things were declining, right? If the number 2 person was doing 350,000 in a month, and that was like the top of the top, but yet a year ago they were doing, you know, over 1 million. Some were doing 3 million in a month. Like something shifted, something changed, right? But I never in a million years, I don't know where I was going with that, but I never in a million years thought that this would all turn into this. I was still willing to fight for those women, the $350,000, right? I still wanted to help those women build their goals, build their dreams. I talk about God-sized dreams all the time, and I believe that for you today, right? I still want you to be able to chase your God-sized dreams. And if that is with any company, I support you 1,000%. Like, I would hope that somebody else would support me and say, you know what, this wasn't for you anymore. Then move on, right? Or do whatever. But all in all, I had no intentions of quitting SeneGence and leaving. I did have intentions of not doing ManaGence anymore, not leading the same way, not recruiting, not selling, not doing all the work that I had been doing, but do the things that fulfilled me with the company, which was the friendships and teaching. I love teaching, and I was going to do that, and I was going to still service my existing clients and customers, but SeneGence decided that that was not going to work for them. And I had a lot of people ask me, could I go to court? Well, yes, we could, but honestly, I want to move forward, right? I just want to move forward, and I want to put this all behind me. Hence why I'm doing this video, to put this out there, for a few reasons. One, to get this off my chest. This really isn't, it's certainly not to bash the company. These are factual things that happened. I was terminated based on the fact that I supposedly solicited, but I have yet to see where I solicited anybody. And the people who have joined me on this next adventure will tell you they have nothing to lose. Why would they stick up for me? Because they lost their incomes too. Like they could throw me under the bus and be like, yeah, well, she did this to try to make theirs. No, they literally will tell you they approached me. And women every single day are approaching me. And so many women are now thanking me for being brave and standing up and doing what I did, and having to represent myself still on social media with knowing all these rumors are going and all these things, right? And so that's why I'm doing this video, to just put it out there that this is the story, and everyone has their own side, right? Of course, like I understand there's three sides to every story, right? Yours, mine, and the truth, right? I get that. And I just hope that you see my heart was never to be malicious toward the company. I'm grateful for the company. Even though I don't love some of the ingredients, okay, even though I don't agree with the marketing and how they believe in home-based only is like the only way you can build a sustainable business. Okay, even though I don't love, some of their marketing and how they do certain things, and I don't love how some of the people in the company don't think you should do other businesses. There's, I don't love how they changed, the how to earn the trips, and there's certain things that I decided that doesn't mean that I'm not grateful and that I don't think the business still works. It does. It's just they don't work for me, and I chose no longer to build the business, which then turned into a horrible, crazy a witch hunt, because everyone's thinking that I'm going to recruit everybody for this new business. And that is not my heart. It's still not my heart. So I can't thank the people in this company who have continued to support me, who have continued to pour life into me, who have, when they see certain things, they just tell me, hey girl, I'm praying for you. I know this has been hard for you, right? Please don't send me any more screenshots. I've told so many people this. I'm like, no more. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the negativity. I'm sure there's going to be stuff after this video. I don't want to see it, right? I'm going to guard my heart, and I'm going to guard my head, and I'm moving forward. And I want you to know through all of this, if you've watched this, if you have a mess like I have, because this has been so messy for my heart, so messy for my family, so messy for my team. I don't, so messy for my sponsor. I get it. I get that a lot of people's lives have been messy because of a really big misunderstanding. And I really wish, I had hoped, I started to say this, I got sidetracked, that, corporate would have looked at me and said, okay, she's a top income earner. She's leading a top team. That's where I was going with that one phrase that I totally got off track. That let's talk to her. Is she crazy? Why would she do this to us? And if I could have explained and said, I didn't. I got out of ManaGence. I followed your procedures. I have not recruited or solicited or poached, tried to get people to come look at anything. People have asked me, which I think that's normal. People are not always going to be happy with something. And so they're going to look for the next thing. And if they ask me, I'm going to tell them the truth. That's not me being malicious. That's not me saying that SeneGence doesn't work. That's, whatever. So I could go in circles, as you can tell. I could probably just keep going and going. And I'm going to wrap this up. But my whole point to this is, if you have a mess in your life, I always teach this, please figure out a way to turn it into a message, right? And don't share that message until don't share that mess until you have a message. Hence why it's taken me months to actually do a video. If you have trials, turn them into your triumphs. God is so good. And even though we have had some really hard months financially, emotionally, me going through the last trimester of my pregnancy, extremely emotionally empty, losing so many friends, right? I always say you can be the juiciest, ripest peach in the world, and there's always going to be someone that doesn't like peaches, right? You outgrow people, you outgrow seasons, you outgrow business opportunities, right? So if you have a mess, turn it into a message. If you have trials, turn it into your triumphs. If you're a victim, and I have actually been victim shamed because of this, and I don't think people know the extent of what I actually have experienced. I don't think they have seen the dozens and dozens of screenshots that I've seen of people talking about me, the dozens, the rumors and the videos that I've seen from corporate people down to, top leaders, that I have been shunned by people. You guys, that hurts. It hurts a lot because I poured my heart and soul into the business, and I was never had any intentions of throwing it all away. I was just really trying to seek God and his plan for my life and my family's life, and the women who come into my life from here on out, how I can lead them to what I believe to be the best opportunity that there is out there. And so, mess to message, trials to triumphs, test to testimony. I have been tested a lot. And then you're victim to victor. If you are a victim of something, right? Whether it's bullying, whether it's theft, whatever, I could put however I want to on this, become a victor. Don't stay stuck in that victim mentality, because for a few months, and I would say it would come in and out, I would go into that victim mentality, and then I would have to get out of it and no, you're a victor. And God is so good, and he has provided. And while we're still very much transitioning and we're trying to figure out what God has planned for our future, I have no doubt that this was a stepping stone for whatever is next. And I'll leave you with this, because I got this tattoo in August of 2017. I felt like the Holy Spirit was telling me that, by the way, it's a G and a greater sign and an up and a down, an arrow. And so it stands for God is greater than the highs and lows. And these are mountains and obviously valleys. And I felt the Holy Spirit telling me in the highest, the month that I received more than I made in 1 month than I did in a whole year as a teacher, I was just thanking God so much and thanking him for blessing our family, but yet just being like, how is this happening? I remember the Holy Spirit telling me so clearly, don't get comfortable here, and know that even though you're on the high and I am so good and you're thanking me, Heather, I really want you to thank me if this goes away or when you're in a low in your life. And so God is greater than the highs and lows. And I hope that if you get anything from this, that God is still good. He is so good. And even though you experience hard things in your life, and I think God used this just to stretch me and to grow me and to draw me closer to him, he is still good in the ups and the downs. And so thank you for watching this. Thank you for those of you who have been supportive of me, who have actually been a sister in Christ and come to me and ask me what has happened. Thank you for those of you who have apologized to me for talking about me and all the things. And, I appreciate that. And for those of you who I have hurt in this whole situation, I am genuinely sorry. I believe you can't choose whether or not you hurt people, right? If you hurt them, you hurt them. And while those were never my intentions, I do understand that this has created a lot of drama and a lot of stress and a lot of turmoil for a lot of people, not just my family. And for that, I am really sorry. And I hope and pray that you can use this in some way to grow yourself and to draw yourself closer to God, and just use whatever mess this is for a message. So, mess to message, trials to triumphs, test to testimony, victim to victor. And for those of you who have been in any kind of a situation like this, I want you to tell you to don't focus on the behind this. Don't focus on what has happened and all the crap that's happened. Focus on your future, because if you can just decide that you're going to win every day, right? Success is your best revenge. With that being said, thank you. I love you. I will see you On the next video, it will not be like this. If you want to reach out to me, do not. I don't want to hear anything about this anymore. But no, for real. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to my story and my heart. And I wish you all the best in 2019. Go chase those website dreams.